Welcome to Raw and Real Real Estate with your host, Marisol Ortiz. Here, we cut through the noise and have honest conversations about the housing market. Each episode brings you real insights, stories, and perspectives from inside the industry, so you can better understand what's really happening in real estate today. Today, we are going to talk about national headlines. As of late August, several articles revealed that many sellers are pulling back from the market. In this episode, we're going to unpack why this is happening and what impact it could have. You'll learn how it might affect you or someone you know if you're planning to buy or sell in the coming months. And if you find value in this episode, at the end of it, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I'm kicking this off with a statistic from Redfin. Right now, 35 of the 50 largest markets in the US are buyers markets. Only 5 are still sellers markets. And here's the funny part. The sellers markets are mostly in the Midwest and East. If I had to guess why, I'd say it's because there's little to no land for new construction in these areas. But you know what El Paso has plenty of? That's right, land. And with that comes lots of builders competing not only with each other, but with you as a seller. And no, I'm not saying new construction is bad, or the devil, or that it's ridding our market. I actually own a new construction home myself. I bought it less than 2 years ago, but that's a topic for another video. What I am saying is that new construction plays a big role in our market, and it can impact your current or future investment. Okay, now back to the article. Redfin points out that buyers are pulling back because of high prices, high mortgage rates, and overall economic uncertainty. And when buyers hesitate, sellers start to hesitate too. Many are either taking their homes off the market or choosing not to list at all, especially when they see their neighbor's house sitting for months and finally selling below asking. Perfect example, my neighbor. A few months back, he listed his home down my street, $550,000. I told my husband, there's no way. No way. And mind you, we own the exact same floor plan. So we know what is builder grade in this house and what's an upgrade. A few weeks later, price dropped to $495,000. I'm thinking, still too high. But that's a significant price drop. Then a little more time passed and the listing was canceled. After that, yes, you could say we are the nosy neighbors. We noticed the moving truck. So clearly the owner was leaving. Not long after, the home came back on the market at $479,000. That's a whooping $70,000 decrease from the original list price months ago. Well, guess what? Earlier this month, my husband asked what it ended up selling for because on his way to work, he saw people moving in. And you know what? I don't know. Because on my end, the listing just shows canceled again. My guess is he decided to rent it out. Honestly, I hope he did because it's terrible being stuck with an extra mortgage. Here's another example. One of my clients, we'll call her Martha to keep her privacy. She's from California and bought a new construction home with my help back in 2021. At first, she was looking for an investment property. At the time, I advised her that a resale might give her better cash flow, but she later told me that this wasn't just an investment. It was going to be her future home once she retired here to be closer to her son. After a year later, life happened. She remarried, and her son, being military, was possibly going to move. Suddenly, this no longer felt like the right investment, and she asked me if it was a good time to sell. My answer? No. Why? because she was surrounded by new construction where builders were selling a similar floor plan for only a few thousand more than she paid. But they were, and still are, offering double the incentives to attract buyers. On top of that, the resale homes nearby were sitting on the market for months. So she took my advice, and for the last 3 years, she's held on to her home, coming back every single year to ask me if it's time. Sure, she could sell and make a profit, but not the kind of profit she's looking for. For her, this home is still the investment where she prefers to keep her money. So what does this all mean? Sellers pulling back creates less inventory, which could push appreciation and home prices up if buyers stay active. At the same time, new construction and higher rates are keeping things balanced. So I'm not expecting the wild bidding wars of the COVID years. For buyers, this means two things. You'll likely see fewer resale options, and builders will continue competing for your attention with incentives. That's why my advice for anyone buying in 2025 is simple. Choose a home you're comfortable holding on to for at least 7 to 10 years. That way, no matter what the short-term market does, you'll be positioned to build long-term profit. Thanks for listening to Raw and Real Real Estate. Today, we unpacked why many sellers are pulling back and what that means for buyers and sellers in the months ahead. I hope this gave you more clarity and confidence as you follow the market. If you got value from this episode, make sure to like and subscribe so you can stay on top of the latest real estate news. On our next episode, we'll dive into why purchasing a title policy is so important when closing on your home. We'll also talk about the risks of title fraud and discuss new legislation that went into effect on September 1st in regards to this matter. To give you the expert perspective, I'll be joined by a title professional with over 20 years of experience in the industry. Until next time.